I had an interesting customer, a really interesting customer. You know, it's not too often you have a vegan looking to buy a barbecue, but this vegan also was transgender, and I said, so what are you interested in cooking? And they just told me like plant steaks and bean burgers, and I said, wow. I said, so you really were her before?
T, come on, man. You got higher standards than that. Come on, man.
The fake Dave jokes are better than the real Dave jokes, but they're still not good.
He wouldn't dare go there.
What's up? No, he wouldn't go there. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Thursday night. It is 9 p.m. Eastern. Actually, it's 9:04. We're late. We are Figure Action. We're a collector's podcast. Is anybody what?
Here anyway? Oh, Nightwing.
We're popping off. We got some fine folks in the chat chatting it up. And if you're watching us here live on YouTube, we suggest you do too, because we love our audience and we try to include our audience in our discussion and our show every week, every time. We love listening to you and we love interacting. So if you want to chat with us, pop in that chat, be a part of the show. Anyway, I'm your host, Extra Zero. This is my first episode of 2020. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to have
What's going on there?
Barbara Walters. Oh, that 2020.
2020 joke. You're in for a year of them. Just relax.
Joe is on his way. He's got to be a dad. And Dave is at a party this evening. But we've got these two fine gentlemen, T-Man 978 and Parks Farmer. I get him right as he walks off screen. Anyway, we've got they can't. Well, I guess they can't verbally react.
What you talking about? Oh, the people in the audience?
Yeah, we're talking about the people in the audience. The people in the audience, if you're watching us here live or delayed on YouTube, make sure you kielbasa slam that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you hit that notification bell so you can see when we come out with additional content.
If you're watching us on a TV or like Chromecast or PlayStation or something like that, touch the screen, hit the option all the way on the left side of the screen, and the subscribe and like option should pop up.
That was very informative. You must have taken a nap. Did you take a nap before the show?
No, I actually walked right in, started filming an unboxing, and I filmed a review. And then I warmed up some food, and then I came on here with you guys.
So you'll be crashing out in about 20 minutes. Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm going to be leaving y'all promptly. I'm supposed to be filming something else.
Hi, Adrian. Hi, Winston. Thank you guys for showing up.
Is it with TM Reviews? Is it with Sony and Paik?
Huh?
Are you doing another thing with?
I was supposed to be. I started filming the 3-way comparison review with those 3 hounds.
You can't say 3-way without saying giggity.
Yeah.
I was going to, but I stifled it. Tell me not to. I shouldn't do that. I need to be who I'm supposed to be.
And then
I got to be myself.
I've got to be me.
After filming it, and I last night I came into my room and I started thinking about all the footage I had, and I was like, I'm gonna delete all that and film it over again.
Oh, I thought you were gonna release like a director's cut, a T-Man director's cut with all the unused footage.
No. I'm gonna have to tell Paik he has to wait one more day.
You have to explain how the Emperor action figure survived.
No, the what?
That was.
He's making a spoilery joke. Well, not really.
No, he was in the trailer. He was in the trailer.
Yeah, it's fair game. That's right.
Yeah,
it's fair game.
Anyway,
Jordan, how are you this evening?
I am. I'm doing okay. So I was an absentee last week. I went to the Music and Gaming Convention, which I go to every year. It's in the DC National Harbor, and this year I just wasn't feeling it. I don't know if it's a sign of being too old or the fact that the crowd has changed immensely, but I ended up leaving the convention on on Friday. Lex was cool enough to pick me up. And, I just, I had a relaxing weekend at home until my identity got stolen again. So, so it's been a kind of a little bit of a hectic week, dealing with that, dealing with the bank. But I'm just trying to let everything roll off my shoulders. I'm going to be okay. I have enough
Everybody
money.
wants to be you.
What? Yeah, somebody wants to spend my money. They don't want to be me. They want to spend my money. So I have to file a claim with the bank, and I have to do a police report. It's unfortunate. Somebody got my social, all my info. So just a reminder to everybody out there: be careful. If you have Zelle, I recommend getting rid of it. And because that's what they did, so my PayPal was compromised, no fault of my own, through somebody exploiting a shopping cart back in November. And I talked to PayPal. PayPal said, "Oh, they didn't get," because I asked, like, what's the chances that they got any of my bank information? They said, "Oh no, they didn't get any of your bank information." And, well, to quote Tyler the Creator, that was a fucking lie. So if you ever get your PayPal account compromised, I recommend 1, going to your bank immediately and telling them what happened, and 2, make sure that I did change my passwords immediately. But if anybody ever messes with that or reaches out from your bank, or you start getting one-time passcodes, call their fraud department immediately. Don't even wait a minute. But like I said, I'll be okay. Hopefully everything will get sorted out. I have enough to pay all my bills, which is fun, but I don't have enough to buy anything fun or do anything fun other than play my backlog of video games, which in and of itself isn't too bad.
Not a bad problem to have. The backlog. Exactly.
Anyway. As for what I got, well, I wasn't here last week, and this guy came like right after last week's show. It's MP47 Hound, which we will be talking about later in this episode. So Matt has a discussion topic that he wants to go over. Also, I did a late Christmas gift exchange with my cousin, and my cousin, he's like a little brother to me. We always try and go above and beyond for one another, and he got me the Toy Deco refractor, and this thing is pretty damn sweet. So it's now on my legion of Despots, and it's in camera mode, and I love the little Crimzeek that he comes with. It's actually different than the one that MPO5 comes with. It's actually a way better mold. It's got a lot of sculpted detail that the one that comes with MPO5 doesn't have. And then, of course, I'm now rocking 2 monitors. My work decided that they were doing a hardware refresh after we did a hardware refresh 6 months ago, and they're just like,
"That's what I do for a living, by the way."
Oh, really?
That's what I do.
Yeah. So, I wish I would have.
You can see the comments at all times now.
Yes, I can see everything.
He's kind of like Neo now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guy in the room? What was the guy in the room? The architect?
The architect. Yeah.
That was Colonel Sanders. I don't know what you're talking about.
So before I just, I was behind the times. I had a single 24-inch monitor. Now I've got 2 26-inch monitors, and it's amazing the difference it makes.
You feel like you've come out of the Neolithic and now you are with us.
Yeah, basically.
Although I'm using a 14-inch monitor on a
Jesus.
MacBook Air.
Do you want my old monitor?
No, I've got one in my spare room that I just can't be bothered to hook up, I guess. It's just laziness. That's all it is. I never claim otherwise, though. So I'm true to myself. And that's all you can be, is true to yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're not true to yourself, who are you going to be true to? Why are you even here?
I can ask. How the hell are you doing, Matt?
Me? I'm doing swell. Because apparently it's time to use that word. Although it is the 20s, so I guess I got to learn some 20s lingo.
We need to bring back Rube.
Is that 20s lingo?
I think so.
Oh, you don't actually know. I'm doing splendidly enough. I have to work a full week this week, which is just awful. I've been off for 2 weeks for the Christmas break. My whole the whole sector of my company shuts down for 2 weeks, and I benefit from that. But I've actually had to work this week, so boo fucking who me. Let me see what else is happening. I'll just go over real quick. I had a light week. I met our buddy Winston, and he had found a Purge Trooper for me, so I finally had a Purge Trooper. Really nice. It's kind of I don't know. I wish the armor was not quite as flat as it looks. That's just a minor bitch, though. Everything else is cool on it. And I picked up something. So when I get merchandise and books and stuff like that, I like in-world stuff. So, what's happening? That Dave? Is Dave reporting live from Zeros? What's happening? So I like getting in-world stuff. Like, I wouldn't get a shirt that says Star Wars, but I would get a shirt that says Imperial Academy or something like that. You know, I wouldn't get a Dragon Ball shirt, but I'd get a Capsule Corp shirt. So if you can, follow the way I've gone
Would you
there.
get a figure action shirt?
Yeah,
I would.
Available on our Teespring.
Huh? How about that?
How many different designs do we have, Joe?
2.
2? And how many designs do we make money off?
He wants the shirt that says "Kill Bossa Slam" on it, and not figure action.
That
Yeah,
could
that's a
be
good
the next
idea.
one. Yeah.
I won that back through good faith.
You have the rights to that now?
I got it back.
Taking it back.
I'm taking it back.
And the last thing I got was an Imperial handbook, which I thought was cool. I got it off Amazon at a pretty cheap price, so I get to look through it and learn the ways of the Empire.
It'd be great if it came with like their benefits package.
It has that. No, it doesn't. It's like a dental plan.
Yeah,
Thai pilots do not get offered life insurance, though.
Krennic needs braces. Dental plan.
They should give everybody life insurance. Since no, because then they would have to pay their families and whatnot, and everybody always dies.
Not always, just most of the damn time.
Every time a TIE fighter crashes, a widow gets a check.
And that's all from me.
All right. Joe, you're late to the party.
I am late.
We all want to know, how the hell are you? And what did you get?
I'm doing pretty darn good, and unfortunately, I did not acquire anything new since last week. But what did I have new last week? Because you weren't here.
Yeah, but he watched the show and saw your haul.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just.
I saw.
I can't even remember, to be honest with you.
I saw you. You as me.
That was the breakthrough in cloning technology.
Did you
It's like
actually
that-
see that live?
No, I didn't.
Although
Yeah.
it was somewhat interrupted by Dave's toys rudely diving off a shelf.
Careening off. Which was inspired the name of the episode, and he can't even bother to be here.
I know.
Yeah, he says he's at a company function heading home now. So will Dave make it? All right.
Let him go
T.
kill
We can
himself.
only hope.
All right. Our next panelist, you know him, you love him. You've probably clicked on some of his videos, and I'm going to
Better
ask him
have.
why he's got a mouthful. T-Man, how the hell are you? And tell us about Dr. Doom.
I am spectacular, and what I didn't talk about in this Mezco Magneto review is he smells good.
He smells good. Okay.
hmm
More reviewers need to talk about the smell of their figures.
I think he's wearing some old cologne that people don't wear anymore.
Yeah, this needs to be the thumbnail.
So he would fit proper on my old white guy shelf.
He would.
He meets all the
Especially
requirements.
If you think about it, he's just Orson Krennic in a helmet and a cape.
Oh,
Actually, that dude, if they remake X-Men, that would be the dude to be Magneto.
Who?
The guy that played Krennic in Rogue One.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
You know, I do have a important question about that Magneto. Your
What's
picture
the
that you
question?
had, where he's holding up the paper clips?
Yeah.
How many jumbo size paper clips can he hold up?
Probably 10.
10? That's not enough.
Like
for
I
me.
don't know.
I'd have to reload him too often.
I had about 7 paper clips on them. You could probably hold a lot because you saw you could hold a whole fingernail clipper, and the fingernail clipper weighs probably more than 10 paper clips.
Okay.
By way of the bot supplier, I just got Shang-Chi. Woo! He's cool. I did the review for it. You'll see that tomorrow since it's still rendering right now. And I also got something else. I'll make you watch the video because I'll do an unboxing. But besides Magneto being awesome, I got 2 bad guys from Marvel Comics at the same time, basically. And this Doctor Doom is one of the greatest Marvel legends ever. Detail-wise, articulation-wise, the materials, and then he has the nerve to come with the secondary head and more hands. So if they did that for all upcoming Marvel legends, I'll be satisfied.
I know
No,
Greg from Mercy is enamored with the way you say hood.
Hood.
Yes.
I'm from Baltimore.
That's what I told him. I said, be prepared for Baltimorean dialect.
Yeah, we put an extra U sound on everything. And when we say U, it drags out for a while.
And apparently we put Old Bay on everything too.
Yeah.
Not in my house.
Oh, during Christmas they made Bloody Mary and they lined it with freaking Old Bay spice sauce. I mean seasoning. I've never had a Bloody Mary, but
You don't drink.
yeah, it was basically, I don't know what they're supposed to taste like, but it tasted like I was drinking salsa.
Well, yeah, that's what a Bloody Mary is.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Yeah. I like mine with A1 steak sauce.
I was expecting it to be kind of sweet a little bit because it says Mary in it. But it wasn't. But it's extra neck articulation, all that junk that Marvel Legends don't have, and it's cool. And
I know they wouldn't do it, but if he could have the cloth cape that Magneto has and that green, I would buy that figure. Charge me $5 extra and give me a cloth cape like with a wire in it, and I would go out and find that figure.
If
Can't you
it
get
had a
that on
cloth
eBay?
cape, oh, you can. There's a whole bunch of customizers just straight selling them.
Sure, but then you
I
have
would
to spend
look up-
another $15 or $20 for a cape.
Yeah,
Cheap.
I will look around because some of them, the cloth is really thick and doesn't look right.
I prefer the molded capes when they do them because
Because
soft.
you don't pose your fingers. That's why.
No, that's not true. I'm just saying I do because they look more natural on the figures and like the Black Series stuff, like the General Grievous. Good grief, was it hard getting like a good pose. Like the only character they can seemingly get the soft goods right on is Darth Vader. Everybody else, it either looks like they're in their PJs or, like they're wearing like they're like it's a bath towel, not a cape.
The first Kylo Ren was a good mix between soft goods and plastic.
Yeah, and that's a good point where they mixed the soft goods and the plastic, where it wasn't like too egregious, but like a lot of times I just think that they would really benefit by just putting bendy wires in the capes.
True, they should, but I know that will cost extra money because that would be more work to get the bendy wire in there.
I mean,
What's
but they're
wrong with
essentially
the
selling the same figure like over and over and over again. I'm sure they're not losing any money.
These are different figures. That's what Hasbro told me. Every figure you get is different. It's not the same thing.
Sure.
But if
Bucky
this had a
Cap
cloth
Bruno?
cape, I would say This was figure of the year already without even ever saying anything else.
That's a bold claim.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down, and we'll see if you still feel that way come the end of the year.
No, I said if it had a soft key. But
Okay.
it's right now, it's really, really close.
Okay, but
Some T has
still,
a bunch of accessories too.
end of the year, I'll say T. If that thing had a soft goods cape, do you still feel it would be figure of the year?
Let's put that in the notes. So just like I'm gonna set a reminder for next year, or I'm sorry, not for next year, but for I'm gonna set it for like late January and be like, is Marvel Legends Doctor Doom still your figure of the year?
And I already know his reply. Figure Doom what now?
I think it's kind of rare that like a figure that gets an early release ends up being a figure of the year for people. For me, the only time I can remember that an early release ended up becoming my figure of the year was that Soul Chogokin Voltron. Like that thing, you know, it really like stuck. And it was 2017. So yeah, that was I got that thing in January 2017, and yeah, that thing was ultimately my figure of the year for that year.
That was Nate Simmons' figure of the year for this year. If you caught his video,
Yeah, right. Well, that's the funny thing about it is like so many people. It was a delayed, They were delayed getting it because by the time it got their attention, because that figure was really based on like word of mouth and hype. Because not too many people were collecting SOC, that bought the Voltron. It was coming to people that were Voltron fans.
Yeah.
So,
and even now, it seems like the bulk of the SOC stuff is mostly readily in stock, unless it's really old.
oh yeah, absolutely.
It's just that one release. And even I remember when Vehicle Voltron came out and was finally released stateside, I remember stores posting it saying that it was in stock and they had available. Now I haven't checked on it in a while, but I know that they had extra at the time. So that at least hung around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Nate might be cheating though. This might be his second one.
Well, he's got 6 of them, so I don't know which one he actually picked.
As I say, the Vehicle Voltron, I think ultimately wasn't as popular, but like the initial hype, it was selling out and people were like going on to like Nippon Yusan and spending like ridiculous prices. Lo and behold, Amazon US got it, and But anyway, let's get into a little bit of
Real
news.
quick, I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me embiggen myself.
I got you.
Oh, do it again.
Okay.
Figma. This neck peg.
Mhm.
Any ideas on how I can get that out of there that broke off?
Buy a new one and throw that in the trash.
Sort of drilling it out. I can't get pliers on that little nub.
I don't really think Figma's plastic works with any adhesives. Because the first Figma I ever had break was the Metroid Prime Samus. And I just tried to glue a piece back onto it, and like Loctite did not work.
So I've noticed that with some shiny plastics, if you can scuff it up, either with like an X-Acto knife, just kind of put some cuts in it, or make it, or a piece of sandpaper, then it'll stick.
What figure is that you broke?
It's just the
it's the Bikini
head.
Babe.
Yeah, it's the head to the Bikini Girl.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So
you
and
have
I've
to
got
use
a
other
replacement
figures
joint,
peg?
so I can replace it if I can get it out of there.
I would say warm it up with a blow dryer for a minute, and then it should just pop right out easier.
Hey Joe, I think you're going to need a tiny. I don't know. Are you against like? Do you want to try to remove it cleanly? The only thing I'll tell you, the reason I ask is if you get a very small screw extractor, it's like a bit head with the corkscrewed end on it that you would rotate into the plastic and then pull it out.
Okay.
Here, I'll send you a link of what I'm talking about. That's obviously going to drill a hole in that peg,
like that, or drill in it.
So Adrian says it's like Gundam. You can use Tamiya extra thin cement, which I was actually talking to Matt about prior to the show, because that stuff is actually more of a
quite versatile.
Yeah.
How's the heck of things, Adrian? We keep hearing that his nuts over there. Unless
Oh yeah, how is he doing with the fire? How are you doing with the fires, Adrian? He's gonna be like, I'm on fire right now.
Yeah, that's not funny.
It's no.
somebody, I was reading something. Somebody was saying they need to get the people that started it. I was like,
Well,
wow, did I
there's a
miss
lot
something?
of arsonists and
Oh.
yeah, I think it was it was like over 80 fires and a lot of them were caused by arsonists. But yeah, but it was like not like people intentionally do it, like flicking cigarettes out of a car into the brush and yeah, he says they're okay, but it's real bad. So hopefully it doesn't get worse. I know there's a lot of attention out there and a lot of people providing aid. So hopefully the situation out there gets better real soon. But anyway, not to deflect from the importance of Australia. Let's get into some discussions here because we do have while it's scant news. He writes,
Lots of AIDS. Oh, God.
lots of AIDS.
Visit Australia. Scenic Australia.
While news is scant, we do have some cool stuff. Starting off with this new company, I've never heard of them. They're called Yellow Park, of all things. Yellow Park. But it looks like they're doing some movie stuff, and they're picking up where 3A30 left off. If you guys remember, 3A30 actually used to do large-scale movie characters, like Moss Toys. Not the bad Moss Toys, but the Mega. I'm sorry, not even they weren't any Moss Toys, but the Mega Action series. I have their Optimus and their Megatron. This is a 60 centimeter tall figure, so about 24 inches tall.
official.
And this is officially licensed. Now, at first, this just looks like it's a really big, well-detailed Optimus Prime. But what I got to show you guys is on TFW, they got a video posted, or a couple of videos rather, just showing off the engineering of this thing. And I just got to say, this thing looks sick. So that's not what I want to do.
Sick like bad or sick like the kids say?
Here, let's
He doesn't
Let me be
look
the judge.
So, at first this is like, okay, it's just sliding panels. That's nothing we haven't seen before.
Cool.
Okay, cool. It's got all the knee detail. But watch these little gears on the leg.
Ah.
Yeah.
500.
Oh, it's going to be expensive. Like, look at how the foot works. This thing's looking pretty damn awesome. We've got faux pistons.
That's gonna be even bigger
Oh.
than the Mega Action.
Well, it probably is going to be about the same size.
If that's his leg alone, that's like the size
Yeah,
of that dude's arm.
I think that looks bigger than the Mega Action.
Well, it's 60 centimeters, so I think that's about the same size.
18 inches.
Uh,
Hey, Google.
24.
I'll probably set someone's
Now
phone off.
look at this. Look at this arm.
That's pretty sweet.
Things like
You know,
like
all
all-
that stuff always looks cool, but then when I get it, it's never fun to handle.
I don't know.
Right.
think,
I'm
I,
wondering
I,
how janky it is.
I think at that size, it'll be okay.
No, I mean, because when I have a big giant toy like this guy, this giant Hulk, is like never fun to post because it's too big. And you have to use like two hands just to move one joint.
And then even
But
here,
the little smaller figures, you just put them in a pose and you're done.
like
I mean, I'm thinking of handling when that
What's
Blitzwing that
going
came
on
out.
with that gun?
yeah, the gun actually has compressing pieces. And
Does it shoot?
so watch, it compresses, and then it looks like it's spring loaded, and then everything like pops out and expands, like it's getting ready to, like a powered up thing.
That's going to be Unicron price.
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know anything about this company. I would imagine it would probably be pricey.
YOLO Park.
If it's cheaper than 300, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I'd
Based
be
on just
shocked
the
too.
engineering. Because the Mega Action figures, they did have like some cool engineering, but it wasn't on the level of this.
Yeah.
And they feel kind of hollow.
So does this mean the Mega Action line's dead? If they're gonna go with this?
The Mega Action line, it's a good question. Like, what the hell even happened to it?
I just dropped off and
Because they had the
Soundwave was next, right?
yeah, the Soundwave was next, and it had that transforming laser beak. It's like really what happened to them?
I don't know.
Sorry. I'm laughing at the ornaments.
We need to start making some kind of poll or attempt to guess the name of some of these third-party companies and everything that are popping up. Because now we've got, what was that? Banana Force.
Yeah.
YOLO Park.
This thing looks like it was ready to go.
Yeah, when was
I
that?
was gonna get him.
This was from July of 2018.
And
So
nothing since.
Yeah, it looks like it's tentative 2019. I'd say it's probably dead. I can't see the Optimus and the Megatron really have sold well, considering they were on clearance on Black Friday a lot of places this year. But I mean, this would have been worth it just for that laser beak. And the fact that you could put like full-size tapes in them.
And it's Soundwave. Soundwave superior.
But I am kind of glad that it did just end up being Optimus and Megatron, because I don't have to struggle with adding this to my collection and not having
Well, that they
space
didn't
for it.
die like before the Megatron, where everybody just got the Optimus.
Oh God, yeah.
And then you'd
yeah.
have just mass hysteria that they didn't have something to balance out their display.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? I don't know if any of you guys ever had it, but the Soundwave that could actually play cassettes, but it didn't have any articulation at all. This would have been a dream come true to me back then. Well, anything with articulation in the 80s would have been a dream come true.
Yeah. I am kind of like sad that this never came out, because I can only imagine how many people on TFW would have tried to like condense him up into a something that vaguely resembled a cassette player.
Somebody's gonna customize it. Well, if it comes out.
Yeah, we'll see. Let me check the comments real quick and see if anybody has any update on that thing, because I don't think I've seen anybody talking about that. Yeah, they even had the packaging done for it. That's crazy. Someone messaged them on Facebook and got a message that says,
"Leave me alone."
It says the license of Toy Alliance's Transformers series is going to expire. We feel sorry, but we have to suspend the Transformers series because we're unable to obtain a new license, and we can understand your mood. So, yeah, that sounds like while the company's not dead, they just lost their license. So that answers that. Oh, and just as soon as I say that, Chuck actually chimed in with the info. All right. I have to disagree with this one, Sportimus. They sold Guardians of the Galaxy. So
I have a song for this. For this moment. Sorry. Can y'all actually hear this?
No, it sounds like Soundwave dying.
It's just a warbly kind of.
Maybe that's fitting.
Seems like I push they just keep knocking out.
All right, we can continue the show. Who
I
still
mean,
has the word Matrix?
that was even before my. Yeah, that's before T's time. Come on, Nate.
I seen one before. I remember seeing
Yeah.
it, but I didn't know what the heck it was.
I mean, and they had wasn't that from those cars that didn't have any floor? You like had to just use your feet to move yourself forward.
It was definitely a car where 3 people could sit in the front.
All right. Well, so we got some.
My first Taurus could do that. Like you pulled up the console and 3 people could sit in the front. It wasn't safe at all.
So now you have to be able to hear it in order for it to be a copyright strike.
No, well, the dude, Long Beach Griffey uses it at the end of every single one of his videos.
I don't know who that is.
Comedian.
Oh.
All of his videos end with some craziness, and he starts playing that music and be like, "I'm going home." I'm going home.
All right. Well, next little bit. Who likes Siege effects parts?
Me.
Most everybody.
Most everybody.
They're so versatile.
We've seen some KO Siege effects parts, but Shockwave's Lab revealed this week. They are actually coming out with their own unique Siege effects parts, and I think these look pretty damn cool, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's a really good approach to the laser effect. I like that.
Yeah, I
I wonder how the ball looks, like the sparkly part, how that fits into SH Figure Arts hands.
I like if you're trying to do a power up move.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the hands. I mean, all the Dragon Ball stuff, that was just kind of fitted in at, as well as you can. I want to see more companies do effects pieces.
These people are nuts in our comments. This was my figure of the year, so I really do like the effects.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone actually does have Siege Blast effects at a TFCon. I'd like to see them do effects pieces for. I'd like to see somebody go in and do more effects pieces for Masterpiece. I know the Plus smoke screen is coming with that.
Smoke screen,
that actual literal smoke screen, and it kind of sucks that that Blue Streak came with the laser blast, but all Plus version of Prowl came with was Prowl and his gun. And the shoulder cannons that he never actually had in the cartoon. I would have loved it if they had given him effects pieces instead of the shoulder cannons.
All they could have given him was a smoky face that looked like he was dying on the arc.
Right?
That would be awesome.
That would have been really cool. And I think if any of them gets a V2 first, it'll probably be Prowl. It'll probably come with that, and those effects where he's getting shot.
It affects parts. I'm surprised it took this long for companies to catch on, but at least it is catching on, where they've realized that, hey, we can make the same thing in different colors cheaply. It's just an injection molded piece that may be painted or not, that has coloration to it, and just stick it in, with whatever figures. It's such an easy, quick grab, and adds to the accessory count to make someone feel like the hologram with Hound, the cone. That probably cost them, pennies on the dollar to make.
Yeah.
But it adds playability. T's taken and posted pictures of Hound, throwing in a hologram up of himself, and tons of people have done that. It just adds. It makes you feel like you get a little bit more out of it. Now that's a very limited piece, though, that probably wouldn't go with many other figures. But still, I mean, the idea, blast effects, explosion effects, can all happen.
Yeah, the best way to do it is how they did it with a Siege, where everybody can use them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The standardized peg is really what they needed.
Or the Lightning Collection, where everything wraps around something.
Now with their Overwatch figures, those are figure specific in most cases. Because Zara's blast can't fit into anybody else's gun. The blast that comes with what is his name? The cowboy dude.
McCree.
Yeah,
I gotta say the company that's really leading my favorite effects pieces. I know I did a 180. I used to not like them, but Storm, those blood effects are amazing.
Oh yeah, fatality effects and everything.
And also, I love this piece, the
How many
Cybernet,
of them do you have?
just Scorpion and Cyrax.
So they're winning you back little by little. At least on the new stuff.
Well, the Mortal Kombat 3 stuff. But like you can do this, and that's a really really cool effect. And it's like, I mean, you can see it on camera glowing.
Are you going to get the naked golden axe, dude?
No. But if they I'd like to get like Sub-Zero, Sector, and Smoke.
Sector. I need to get
Down 'em out. Though I'd probably get Raiden too, because he's one of my favorite characters.
That scene from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Everybody hates that movie, but I watched that scene with Cyrax over and over and over again on DVD.
What was the scene?
With where Cyrax was fighting Jackson, Sonya Blade.
Oh, I don't need these arms. Is that it?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Every black person had to say, "That's what I'm talking about." In every movie, I hate it. It's made me so cringe.
Now, if I ever catch you saying that, like out and about, I'm gonna call you out.
I will only be saying it sarcastically, never seriously.
That movie just tried to stuff in as many things, like as many "Hey, remember this from the video game" moments as they possibly could.
Everybody stand up on a mountain and do this.
Yeah, or find your animality. I mean, Liu Kang should have been like, "And what? What are you fucking talking about, dude?" Like, he never questioned it. He's like, "Oh, I could turn into a big fucking monster for no apparent reason."
Didn't Jack show up like 60 minutes into the movie?
Wait, Matt, you can't turn into a big monster for no reason?
I mean, I can get mad and I turn green if I'm a little sick. I guess if that counts.
Part of me can.
Well, I mean, we know what your animality would be. That's pretty obvious.
A crab.
A lobster. No, yeah, it's a crab.
I was going to say a tentacle beast.
Yeah, no, that would be more fitting.
Now you know what you think he's going to do as a tentacle beast, but in reality, he just starts posing all of his figures at once, just sitting in the middle of the room. Meanwhile, all these poor anime girls are like sitting in the corner, like, "We gonna do this or what?"
He's like, "Not tonight, ladies.
Not tonight.
All right.
What else we got?
So, I think T-Man already showed off Marvel Legends Doctor Doom, but McFarlane, we've been seeing their DC license. I actually do want to revisit this topic later on in the episode, and the connotations of McFarlane having this license. So the initial reception to the McFarlane license for DC is that the figures are actually good. You know, the cool thing is that I think they're doing what Mattel missed the mark with, and they're taking a page out of Marvel Legends book where, you know, here we've got the Arrowverse. They're making him look accurate to the source material. Then, if I can move forward, and again, he comes with a nice accessories, a stand. I don't know about these hips though. Those look like a mess.
Yeah, they're the same hips that they've been using forever, like on One Punch Man.
Yeah.
I've only heard one person. I have one person complaining to me She looks good. She doesn't have it, but most of the other figures have the ab section that's like bulging out and doesn't look natural.
Yeah, like the Doom figure has. I like the whole build the Batmobile is an interesting concept.
Did any of y'all watch that interview with JC and Todd McFarlane?
Not yet.
He was explaining why he did the build a Batmobile and all that junk instead of build a figure.
Give us the skinny on that one.
He was saying that he didn't want to like shortchange anybody. Like where when you do a build a figure, normally you got to buy 6 characters. He called the characters like A-listers, B-listers, and C-listers. So he's like, now, do we want? Most people will be happy with the 2A and maybe the B, but then they'll be upset about the C characters. And then, like, do you want to put a character like the Batman Who Laughs as being the Build-A-Figure, or do you want to just make him and everybody can just buy it and you can just make all your money up front?
Yeah,
because they're buying the character they want in the first place.
I think doing the vehicles is a smart move because that's something that really does lack in you don't see it at all with Marvel Legends. Not that there's really too many iconic vehicles. I thought that one of the coolest concepts was the Vulture build his wings when they did the Homecoming wave.
Yeah. Only thing about these build the Batmobile is it's just going to be, it's almost like getting a free McDonald's toy because they can't ride in it. It's just a car.
Yeah,
like Hot Wheels or
but
something.
there is a Batmobile that is sized appropriately, though it's not like the iconic. It's not an iconic Batmobile, which I think is a missed opportunity. Yeah, it's like the Bat Raptor or something.
Yeah. They'll probably make some, depending on how the Bat Raptor sells, they probably will make something else.
But I love that they're doing the Bruce Timm designs. These I will probably get a few of.
Mm-hmm.
They look. Who was the last company that made them? I know you can get those pretty cheap too.
Collectibles, I think.
Yeah. And
now, I want that Batman. I'm hoping he said that it has a softer material on the top, on where the shoulders are.
Yeah.
I hope that cape can move out the way of the arms.
There's a picture I've seen where the arms aren't up really far, but they're up enough, like, I don't know, just up enough where you can see that it does flex out of the way a little bit. I'm not sure how far, but there is some give. I don't know where I saw the picture. I see if I can find
You know what? There are reviews. I'll just watch it.
not a fan of the boomerang there, or the batarang, I should say, or the grappling hook. That kind of looks weird.
Yeah, usually those match his symbol on his chest.
Yeah. And then
everybody likes them, so hopefully a bunch of people buy them and they won't be clogging the shelf. I don't want them.
I feel like there needs to be a Figuarts or a Mafex for that guy. I think Mafex needs to start offering up the other Batman.
I don't like this
metal,
one, but I like the other one.
So this is the one that's actually to scale. This is the Bat Raptor, and Batman can ride inside that. I want to see when somebody gets this. I want to see somebody get like the Marvel Legends thing and cram it in there. And if you get that reference, you get like 1,500 figure action points.
Nate might, if he's still here.
I don't get that reference.
Oh, it's like it was from when Stan Lee was on The Simpsons.
Oh,
yeah. This kid goes in the comic book shop and Stan Lee's like, "Wouldn't you rather have an interesting action figure like the Thing?" And he goes, "Only Batman fits in my Batmobile."
Oh yeah.
Oh, nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you broke my Batmobile. Broke it or made it better. That was the last time I think that like a deliberate celebrity cameo was actually good on The Simpsons.
I couldn't tell you.
Ride that
I've
thing,
watched them.
It looks so derpy. Go back one.
It does.
Doesn't it? It
Yeah.
looks so stupid. Come on.
It looks like he's did you ever see the sex scene in The Room when like Tommy Wiseau doesn't know where Lisa's belly button, or he like is like going in on her belly button?
Can't say I have. What's
I'll
The
link it.
Room?
Oh my god. You guys got to come over one day and we'll have booze and cigars and I will
Porn?
No.
What the hell?
Not a
What is
porn.
this you're talking about though?
It's one of the worst movies ever made. It's like so bad it's good.
We're not going to come over uninvited, Jordan.
We need to.
Javi has been talking about it.
We're gonna have a Cats viewing party.
Only if you bring the special Joe Crab medicine.
I can do that.
Okay.
I think that movie was made for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking about like Ricky Gervais talking about like Judy. They cast Judi Dench in it because she's already good at licking her own ass.
I love that
right.
speech.
So then we got
Tim, I don't like.
the Bruce Tim. Yeah, his face looks kind of like, ooh, I'm Superman.
Yeah, he has the worst face.
Dave's seen it.
What is
That-
his accessory? Is that
It's
like a
it's
girder
like-
or something?
Yeah, it's like a
okay.
bend-up girder.
Okay.
It
It looks like he pelvic thrusted the middle of that thing and just bent it to hell.
Yeah, I need that instead of extra hands.
I got this for you, Lois. Here, instead of flowers.
It's something else he could have. It's something else he should have came with too. I can't think. Oh, or like
It's this
laser eye
big.
effect or something.
It's this big and it's curved too.
You're
And 7-inch figures, like I don't get that.
I hate 7-inch figures.
Well, oh wait.
No, he does come with
did
extra.
He talked about that because Spin Master also has the license. There's only certain things that he could do, so it had to be 7-inch. I think they're gonna make their little 6-inch kitty toys.
This doesn't look too bad.
Like
that.
stores don't want.
He's
like,
anemic from the waist down.
First Tim design.
just like the show.
Nah. Don't
We
mean it's
skipped leg
good.
day.
He was also saying that since he's a private company, they can pretty much make. They're not under the same constraints as like Hasbro. Like Hasbro, the figures have to have a certain amount of plastic or can't have more than a certain amount of plastic. He was like, they can make the figures as big as they want as long as it can fit inside the box.
My name is Superman. I'm not familiar with this this comic art.
No.
That's a cool looking design. That's actually a really cool looking design.
I'll
Then-
pretend he's some robot protecting Fortunes of Solitude or something.
This is the one Nerd Out reviewed. I like the stand. I really like the stand for this. It's a pretty good looking Superman.
That's not bad.
Just extra hands, and it's a missed opportunity not to come with the beam eyes. And the Nightwing looks good. I'm not sure what's going on with the hips. It almost looks like they're using soft goods over the hips.
I can't see it. Let me zoom in.
Let's see. Nope, they're not. It looks like it looks like probably the pelvis is like a soft material.
It is.
Sportimus, this is what I thought, and I don't even know that property. Like I knew the word, and I'm like that looks like that robot from that anime, and you just said that word. Good job. 3.5 figure action points to Sportimus.
Mazinga Z.
I do like that he can stow away his batons in his back. That's pretty good. Pretty
Like
good.
this.
Then of course,
Yes.
Of course, that's Maz and Kaiser, but close enough.
kind of weird accessories to have John Stewart come with.
His proportions are so odd. Like
Yeah.
go to where he's standing, it's going standing profile. Like that's not.
Yeah, he
He's
like
like
his
permanent
head.
pelvic thrust.
Well,
He
his
looks like a-
head is like got a weird angle to it.
Yeah.
looks like a caricature of Terry Crews more than he looks like the Justice League Unlimited John Stewart.
I mean, the
My
gun
problem-
accessory is cool.
My problem with him, and somebody didn't notice it till I pointed it out, but the green stops in the middle of his shoulders.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
articulation. One would assume.
Harley Quinn looks decent.
I don't
think
like
I
her.
am
I don't like her face. I think there's something wrong with her head sculpt.
It is, and she's
Yeah.
the same height as
It's
Superman.
squished. It's like
Mm.
squished. I think I'm still gonna get her and the Bruce Timm stuff.
They didn't make her to scale with the other characters. They just made a 7-inch Harley.
Speaking of Harley, is anybody here picking up the amazing Yamaguchi Harley that just came out?
Probably not.
The one that's got the roller skates and everything. Oh, it looks good, but
Yeah.
just
It
curious.
looks cool, but I need some amazing Yamaguchi Harley money.
Hmm.
There's
Speaking
some
of
other
Harley
things probably
Quinn.
more than that.
That movie looks so stupid.
It's gonna fail.
Well, hold on.
That-
Let's put a pin in that real quick. Go back one. What is this from?
It's from the Rebirth.
Yeah.
The Rebirth line.
Isn't that where Jim Gordon was Batman?
Dudes, yeah. So much has happened in comic books. Let's just go with that.
Okay. Okay.
It's just
All right. Anyway,
all
back
that
to
too.
Harley.
But I do know
back
it's from
to
Rebirth.
Birds of Prey and the
Oh,
fabulous
you don't need to do that.
emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen the preview yet.
The second one came out today.
You're not missing much.
Ian McGregor is Black Mask in the weirdest casting for a villain ever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Spoiler, man.
when I think of Black Mask, the last person I think of playing him is Ian McGregor.
What about Jim Carrey?
That's yeah, no, I don't think of I see that's not a fair one because like if you think about Jim Carrey, you think about his unfortunate casting as the Riddler because he under the right circumstances could have been an amazing Riddler, but they just made him like Lloyd Christmas.
It would have been nice if Two-Face wasn't also the Riddler at the same time in that movie. Both
Oh,
of
you
them
mean-
were goofy and silly and over the top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, why is Two-Face goofy?
But Joe,
Yeah.
you think that the Birds of Prey trailer pales in comparison to Wonder Woman 84? Is that a correct statement?
Oh, yeah, that would be an obvious statement.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the Wonder Woman 84 with Joe trailer is even better. It's,
You know, you could make
top
that go
shelf.
live and just put that on our channel.
I can't. Well, I guess
Did you
so.
post that?
I would actually wanted to ask you guys about that. You can put it and like as a public video. We're not monetized, so I guess it doesn't
We're
matter.
not
But
monetized.
it's got an
But could-
automatic copyright claim on it because
Yeah.
of the music. So it doesn't really matter to us because we're not monetized.
It
So
won't
if they-
matter.
yeah, they can claim all the money they want because there isn't any.
I just found out I got 2 videos being claimed right now. I think both of them have less than 100 views, so, and they're old as crap.
I think you can get away with like a few seconds playing of music, but if it's more than that, then it automatically claims it. They got technology that detects it.
Sometimes it can be 5 seconds, depending on the company.
It doesn't take much. Well, it'll tell you before you even load it. Because as I uploaded that video, it said automatically before I even put it on there, it said copyright claim.
Yeah, you deal with that with store music, right, T?
Yeah.
Background
was-
music and
I was in, I think that video I was in Ross, and I don't know what song. Actually, I remember that. I remember editing it to take the music out, so I didn't feel like watching it again to find out. They said,
So this trailer, though, does anyone else feel like they're trying way too fucking hard?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right? They're not having fun with it. They're trying to make a movie about people having fun that it's not fun to watch. Something about it just doesn't
Yeah.
sit well.
Seems
But
really forced.
it's like Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad looks better than this so far. At least Suicide Squad
No,
had a really good
the-
trailer.
The first one,
I'm gonna have to watch the trailer while y'all talk.
the first Suicide Squad.
Wasn't that the only one?
Well, they're
was
coming
another
out with a
one coming out.
Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know much about that yet. I
So-
can only go by.
When I heard they were making this movie, I was kind of hoping that they would have what's her face, Poison Ivy
Yeah.
in it, because Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn have always had like a little thing going on, and I was like, oh,
As he
that's gonna
smiles
be,
coyly.
yeah. That would have been easy for them to do because it's like
They'll probably
be-
introduce her at
it
the
can be
end.
very SJW, but it just seems like and the Black Mask isn't even a Black Mask. He's literally just wearing a black mask. That's stupid.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, DC people, but Harley Quinn typically has nothing to do with the Birds of Prey, right? As a group, anyway.
I don't think so. It was always just Huntress, Black Canary. Who was else in Birds of Prey? Chat, help me out here. I can't think of who else was in Birds of Prey. Huntress, Black Canary. Other women.
Now, Ewan McGregor's playing blackface. Is he?
Did you say blackface?
typically- I did. Is he typically the villain against the Birds of Prey, or is that? I know zero about.
No,
it.
he's
I know it's
typically a
all
Batman villain.
I don't know
Okay.
much about Birds of Prey.
He's just a
to be honest.
Gotham City villain, right?
Okay.
Well,
It's
no,
just-
I mean, yeah, he is a Gotham City villain, but I mean, of course, like in that universe, I mean, he came in when they had already expanded everything.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have thought that they never would have been able to make a Guardians of the Galaxy because they're like a bunch of not A-list characters, and they made that work. So, the trailer doesn't look good.
I didn't think so either. I just
Yeah.
trying way too hard. Then they're like, "Hey, hyenas! You remember Harley likes pet hyenas?" Like that's but Margot Robbie, I thought, did an admirable job in Suicide Squad as Harley Quinn too. I mean, again, I think they were trying too hard with her, but I think her as an actress was all right for that role. Even though I say that though, but I still think the accent came off as phony.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth about it. I mean, it's fine. Really, that's what it boils down to. It's fine.
I think I'd like to see a story with her not in that
Clothing.
same not in clothing, not in that same universe, not in that already established.
As Harley Quinn, you mean?
Yeah.
Like in the new Joker movie, as a different role or different same character, different
unrelated.
take on it.
I don't like the visuals, the aesthetics. You found something funny.
There's a grunge factor to these.
You know, really weird.
Like
what's the word? Yeah, grunge is probably the right word.
That's the word I think of when I see, especially like, I don't know. It just it wasn't the aesthetic I thought of when it comes to Harley Quinn.
I've got a figure of her somewhere.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And when she said she named her hyena Bruce.
And then, did you like the hyena laughing? You like that, didn't
you?
Yeah.
I just don't like the whole thing with like the face tattoos and all. Yeah, it just doesn't.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Again, trying too hard, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I have face tattoos.
They can't change it because she already looked like that.
Well, but that they shouldn't have had it in the first place. I mean,
have you seen a film called The Force Awakens? And at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, Kylo Ren gets a facial scar, and then a facial scar, and it's like down his nose and everything. And then in the next movie, it's across his eye.
I didn't notice that.
Then in the next movie,
he had some kind of
I noticed it, but I didn't care.
Black bandage or something in it.
Yeah, like they were trying to heal it.
Yeah.
But hey, they could have changed it. But
the droid that was working on it moved it.
Right?
Because
it did a Control C
over here.
Did a Control C, Control V.
It's hyperdrives and stuff, and that's what you worry about. I don't know.
I think if JJ would have kept making the movies, he probably would have kept the scar.
Well,
that would have been his reason.
It just moved.
I mean, it would have probably looked uglier. Maybe Adam Driver didn't like where it was.
Do you think?
No,
do you think
Ryan
JJ
Johnson
hates
didn't like
Adam
where it
Driver?
was.
That is going to go down in history as a really weird. It already is. The whole JJ Ryan, JJ, how they kind of like went back and forth with each other's things and changed stuff up on each other.
Yeah, no, like Ryan Johnson said he didn't like it. He didn't like where it was.
Yeah,
He's
it
going to get
goes
the new
straight
trilogy, though, right?
down towards his nose.
Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, we'll see.
Interesting.
Are we diving into a Star Wars talk? Because I can have things to say. We can avoid it altogether.
Well, let's save it for a B-side.
Yes.
That's a good
All
idea.
right. Let's get into well, you know, there was something that came out. Joe, you wanted to talk about this one, movie-wise, not
Oh, yeah.
related to Star Wars.
So yeah,
Um,
we can stick on the whole movie theme.
So yeah.
There's, I guess, a toy fair in Hong Kong, and there is a potential spoiler.
Yeah.
If I can get
We-
my screen
so-
up.
I've actually
For what?
got it right here.
Oh, I got it. There we go.
And
This is really bad pictures.
Yeah.
Really bad.
now, are these the Walmart toys?
It looks like that. Yeah, it looks like the Walmart toys, but
Yeah.
so obviously it's going to be Mechagodzilla. I mean, there's really nothing else it can be.
Oh. You know what this reminds me of? That first picture of Devastator that was at Toy Fair. And it was so far away, you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they had that bouncer dude that was trying to block people from taking the picture.
Oh yeah.
So I saw a lot of people complaining though because this is like a toiler, but I don't know what you guys think, but we haven't seen a trailer for this movie yet. I don't really consider this a spoiler. He's going to be in the trailer. They're not going to keep this a surprise.
Yeah. It also may not actually be in the movie. Like there was a lot of stuff that they did for Rampage that ended up not being in the movie,
That's true.
which is
Speaking of
Everything
Rampage.
was in that last Godzilla, though.
These
What
toys
was-
look like those shitty Rampage toys.
Yeah, that's-
still
The
looks
last Godzilla had like 50 bit different monsters that they didn't show up close.
So are you saying that you think because of these blurry pictures that they're going to include Baby Yoda in the next Godzilla movie?
yes,
definitely.
that's exactly what he's saying.
I don't know what's going on with his. Look at he's got like they're not hands. They're like grabber, like a junkyard thing that picks up
The
junk cars.
claw.
Oh,
The
he's a robot.
claw. Yeah,
Robots got to have claws.
I guess. It does look stupid though.
Well, at least he doesn't look like the 90s Godzilla.
The one with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I actually didn't mind that Godzilla design, but I'm not a Godzilla fan, so my opinion can't be trusted.
I just didn't like that it wasn't. I thought he should have been bigger.
That's
Or
what she said.
she should have been taller.
King Kong.
I mean, the 90s Godzilla.
The Matthew
Godzilla
Broderick-
USA.
Godzilla 2000.
Their
But I did
hype
like
went
Puffy's
all over the
song.
place.
Joe, you're sort of the, I guess I would call the resident Godzilla expert. Would you recommend someone start with, I know they're not related, but would you recommend someone start with Shin Godzilla or part one of the two that have come out, Bryan Cranston?
Oh, if you're only talking the new movies,
If I was gonna watch one of the two new movies, and let's say I owned both, and I wanted to start with one, which one should I go with the two or watch Shin Godzilla, which I know are two totally separate
Yeah.
stories.
I'd go with Shin Godzilla if you're just gonna watch one, just because it is a radical departure from Godzilla, but it's Toho Godzilla. The
Mhm.
American movies are good popcorn movies, but the story's not that great, and especially the first one, they limit the amount of like monster action that you get.
Mhm.
And Shin Godzilla is made by the original studio, so I think you're better off with that. But really, my actual recommendation would be to go back and watch the original
Gotcha.
movies, and I would go with like the films in the 90s were the best ones.
So then,
80s and 90s.
the new ones that came out, the King Monsters. Do you have to see the first one to get into this one, or could it be totally standalone?
The story's so
Throw
generic
away.
that, yeah, I mean, you could watch the second one. They're going to tell you everything that you need to know if you haven't seen the first one.
Pretty much.
Yeah, first
Okay.
one. I mean, it has its moments. It's cool.
I
It's
didn't watch the
entertaining.
first movie,
You don't. You don't have to. You're not missing
Okay.
that much.
but I got recapped.
They build it at. I don't want to spoil it, but they build it as like Heisenberg versus Godzilla, and that's not what we got. He was just kind of there, and then. Well, I'll spoil it for you. A bunch of metal fell on him like 15 minutes into the movie, and he dies.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew he died.
Yeah.
We do have a Godzilla-based question from our captive audience.
Ooh, top 3. In no specific order, the original 54 Godzilla vs. Destroyer and Godzilla against Mechagodzilla 2 are my 3 favorite. There you go.
There you go with that.
You can even have your own portion of the show, I think, Joe. We could just have you do your own kaiju corner.
I was just getting ready to say Kaiju
Crabs
Corner.
Kaiju Corner.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I don't
Alright.
think we get enough
You're
kaiju
welcome.
news to do that.
Well, then we're placing it upon you. You're
Okay,
our subject
I'll
matter
find-
expert,
I'll find the kaiju news.
and I'm going to award you. Are you ready? The first figure action kaiju credit points.
Okay.
You get 2.5 to start with.
Sweet.
Mm.
All right. Speaking of things,
Got a half. That was pretty good.
That was pretty
speaking
good.
of things that fight kaiju, got some exciting stuff going on with the Lightning collection. Our Pound Nightwing brought this up to my attention earlier in the week, and we got ourselves a Yellow Ranger coming out. Probably wait till you get to the Black Ranger. Joe said the Yellow Ranger was racist.
I didn't say that.
It was the other white guy.
It made
Yeah.
sense when I was little. She's I mean, when I was little. When I was a teenager, it made sense.
And then you pulled a Chappelle. Man, that was kind of fucked up. thinking
This
about it.
reminds me of that Key and Peele sketch with the Power Falcons or whatever it was, where they're like, Black Falcon, and I think he was the Green Falcon. He's like, why do I gotta be the Black Falcon?
I wish they gave her different colored effects pieces, though.
Oh yeah.
You
But
know
I
what?
think-
I might. They're the same ones that the Green Ranger and Lord Draken come with. So
I mean, mostly they had like yellowish white sparks shoot off everybody's body.
yeah, I
They
just
could
wish
have put
they.
some white frosting on it or something.
I wish that they just given her blue ones. To be honest, it would have been a nice contrast. That's like why I'll probably take the one that came with like Lord Draken because I'm not using it, and the one that came with the White Ranger because I'm not using it. I'll give actually I am using the one with the White Ranger, but I'll probably give one of the yellow ones to the White Ranger, and I'll just swap some of those pieces around so she has the blue ones. I think that'll look better on the shelf. But this looks like she's got sparklers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Green Ranger.
So,
go.
Sportimus, answer to this one. Even though they gave this figure breasts in the Sentai show, the Zhu Ranger, the Yellow Ranger was actually male. So that's why the Yellow Ranger did not have a skirt.
And the Yellow Ranger barely had breasts anyway. in the U.S. show.
No,
I think
Kinda-
in Japan the Pink Ranger was a guy anyway. Once they put on the costume.
that's kind of awkward.
I was gonna say, does everyone just fucking lie to us all our lives? Is that how this is working? Do we just get lied to?
Yeah, I seen pictures of the cast without. They took off the mask and it was a man inside the suit.
Should we have the Santa Claus talk with Matt?
Yes, we
Yeah.
should.
We should
Matt?
do that.
Santa didn't visit you and Colin this Christmas. It was
Who was
Joe.
that guy? Who was that guy downstairs?
That loud banging you heard in your chimney. That was Joe.
Tentacle Beast Joe coming down
Yes.
the chimney.
And he only comes once a year to feed, but that's why you leave the cookies out.
Look, while we're talking about Tentacle Beast, I'm playing with this.
Where's Dave when you need him?
He's
Still going
supposedly on
home.
his way still. What the hell is he driving from?
Well, last I saw, he put a picture of his meal, like he was just sitting down.
No, we should do
He was in our chat, and he said he was
He
on his
was?
way home.
when he joins.
Yeah,
we
but
should just
lied to all our lives, Joe. All of our lives.
Exactly. Welcome to a life of disappointment.
So speaking of a life of disappointment, we have a IDW crossover. They're doing the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Turtles and Power Rangers have been a thing before. Except we didn't have a Green Ranger Shredder. Not sure how I feel about this design.
It looks
Mine.
like Ra's al Ghul.
I
It
think the other
does.
turtles are going to be Rangers as well.
Well, yeah, because the covers all seem to show them all holding the Blue Ranger helmet, all four turtles. Which, I mean, the original crossover, the turtles were just good enough to go with the Power Rangers. They were able to like fight toe to toe. I mean, hey, they're the Ninja Turtles. Why wouldn't they be? But I guess in this series, turtle power just ain't good enough. So they have to.
No, that was a low budget TV show.
No, it was a no budget TV show, but
Why
Yeah.
do the turtles cross over with everything?
Because Fox. Oh yeah, the turtles are just straight whores. To be honest,
yeah,
Does-
they were
does this-
in Injustice. They fought Batman. They
I was gonna say, does this now mean that Batman can cross over with the Power Rangers
That's true.
now
Yeah,
that
maybe.
the universes are interconnected?
So this leads me into a quick discussion here, because I don't know if you guys remember, we had Ninja Turtles Ghostbusters. We had Ninja Turtles.
WWE.
Yeah, the WWE ones. There was Star Trek Ninja Turtles in the 90s.
Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's like I think the only thing that they haven't crossed over with is the Transformers, in all honesty.
I thought they were in a comic.
Don't think they were.
Let's see.
Nate Timmons is going to be put in charge of Hollywood.
Yeah. Batman
I fully-
did cross
I
over
fully
with
endorse-
Predator.
I fully endorse that movie.
It's already on YouTube.
So
It's pretty good, actually.
I think the likelihood of Hasbro getting to make any figures for this crossover is like next to nil, especially since they just got the Power Rangers license, and NECA has to jump through all sorts of hoops in order to make theirs. It would probably take Playmates getting bought out by Hasbro for that to happen, which, as far as Playmates is concerned, I could see that happening. And that's
But Nickelodeon owns them.
Mhm. But Playmates, I think, has some sort of like lifetime agreement to make the toys for Turtles. I could be wrong.
Until those guys pass away.
So Turtles did cross over with Transformers unofficially, according to Nate. I don't see where that was. And then Sportimus chimed in with Playmates had the Star Trek license, so that made some sense. Yes, that does actually make a lot of sense. In the 90s, everything was a lot looser to do. The Turtles is like the first toy series that I remember that did parody stuff. You know, they did the horror. Actually, they crossed over with Universal Monsters. That was licensed. But I remember going into like Lionel Kitty City, Toys R Us, KB, and there were just a shit ton of like all 4 turtles and all kinds of decos
the Troll Turtles. You remember that?
Oh God, the Troll
you know
Turtles.
That reminds me. I've actually got evidence of this. Keep talking.
But so my question to you all, what I wanted to discuss was what kind of crossover would you guys want to see? Recently there's a Transformers and Star Trek crossover, which I've heard is actually kind of on the boring side. But like, what lines would you actually want to see crossed?
Here we go.
Transformers and G.I. Joe.
That was a thing.
That was a thing. Oh shit! You got Kirk Leo.
Yep. In the package. Look at that.
For me, like Voltron's been on my mind a lot lately, and I would actually love to see a Voltron Power Rangers crossover. And yes, I know scale is because Voltron is supposed to be gigantic, but for the sake of because I'd like to see some I've always loved the design of classic Voltron and the classic Megazord, and I would just like to see some sort of fuck all where both of them get damaged and they have to make a hybrid of the two.
I mean, at this point, I want to see a Voltron standalone first, and then we can do that. It kind of irks me that at this point in movie history, the only live action Voltron we have right now is on Ready Player One for about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And how are we at this point into the nostalgia fest? Like everything's being rebooted, all the nostalgia and the feels from the 80s are coming back. How is Voltron? It must still be legal hell. That's the only thing I can think of is that there's still like World Events
Voltron
Productions and all that.
I
Still,
don't even think it made it into that movie.
You can see Blue Lion during the big fight at the end. You don't see the combined, but you see the lions.
Gotcha.
I heard that they were making a movie and Pharrell was doing the soundtrack back in 2008.
Man, he takes a long time to write.
Yeah. I want to see RoboCop versus Terminator. I want to see it be like completely self-aware. I think that's at this point. I think that's probably the only way they can get any interest in the Terminator franchise after everything that they've done. It does not need Arnold in it. I would like it if they did like Peter Weller's voice, because dude's getting up there. But they did the comic series, and the comic series actually had a lot of cool concepts in it. And even if they just did it as like an animated thing, adapt the comic into like 2 hour 90-minute little short film.
Did anybody like the reboot besides me?
I did. I thought the reboot. I thought the reboot had like a lot of cool concepts in it. Like it was basically RoboCop in reverse. Rather than losing his humanity up front, he lost it in reverse. I just think that the problem with the reboot is that it was PG-13, and because of that, like the reboot had a lot of good ideas with the social commentary, but they just couldn't go far with them because they were kind of like they were pulling their punches the whole time.
My reboot. I want to see Pokemon and Ninja Turtles. Because I want just like 10 minutes of the movie is Ash with a stack of Pokeballs throwing them at Raphael. And he's just getting more and more pissed off every time it just bounces off. And Ash is getting mad because he doesn't know why he's not capturing it. And Raph's getting mad. And it's just a pile of Pokeballs everywhere and roll credits.
You know what the Turtles did pretty good as far as a crossover? Crossing over with themselves and doing that whole generation.
Yes. That whole meta episode.
You know, I was just thinking now too, like, what if Transformers did that, where they had like their own sort of like multiverse generations thing?
Well, Dreamwave did that too. I mean, they brought together the different realities of Transformers for. I don't remember what the arc was, the comic issues.
Yeah, but I mean, like now with like Prime and Animated and G1, and you know, it'd be interesting to see like G1 Prime interact with the murderous Bayverse Prime.
I've seen somebody made a fan thing with that. What I wanted,
I feel like. Good.
I think the first Transformers movie should have just been G.I. Joe and Transformers. Instead of making Sector 7 and all that, it should have just been G.I. Joe in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. You had a good spot to fit them in. Why didn't you do it? That's what she said.
So especially since they had a hard on for the military anyway.
Yeah. And they also had a hard on for putting human characters in the spotlight.
It's like I'm looking at my shelf here to figure out other crossovers, but all I'm seeing is movies that should be made. Where's our Metroid movie, our Mega Man movie? You know, well, let's start there. I'm not going to go any further. Our Legend of Zelda movie. Come on, man.
Does it have to be a movie, or can it just be like
anything? Netflix.
I think I want to have a B-side for video game movies, because I'm a firm believer if your game is anything cinematic, it should not be a movie. Like I don't when Uncharted and Metal Gear are already enough like movies, why do they need to be movies? Like why yeah, exactly. You know,
Mass Effect.
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah,
that last totally. I didn't watch the Tomb Raider movie, but I was like, this looks just like what I've seen in the game already.
Right. Yeah. You're just like basically sitting there watching like a you know, somebody else have an experience that, you know, you're not in control of. It takes, yeah.
The Angelina Jolie one, I was like, wow, this looks like me watching somebody play the game. She had no personality or anything.
I like that first Angelina Jolie one, though. I mean, it's not a good movie, believe me, but I liked it.
I might be thinking about the second one when they just showed her doing a whole bunch of flips and shit. I was like, what the hell?
All right, I got one.
What you got?
You'll never guess. I just wanted to think of like really obscure but really enjoyable movies that didn't get sequels. All right. You guys might not know this one. Well, the first one you'll know. I'll start with that. Last Action Hero.
Yeah, everyone knows that one.
And
I've never seen it.
Oh, fuck you. And Remo Williams. Does anyone know that?
I feel like if I look it up, I'm gonna remember.
Remo Williams is a classic. It's one of my favorite movies. Cross that over with Last Action Hero. 2 movies that should have got sequels that never did.
Wilford Brimley is in that.
He is.
Will we replace Arnold?
Got a CGI, I guess, or time travel.
Oh, Marvel Comics actually did a Remo Williams comic.
No, really, they did. Oh,
they
wow.
did.
Check that out. Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. Nate knows.
It's Destroyer.
Nate knows everything.
He does.
Nate is a computer. I wasn't supposed to tell people.
All right.
You know who else was in that movie? Captain Janeway was in that movie. Kate Mulgrew.
All
Flash
right,
Gordon and Kindergarten Cop.
So Matt, you had, before we closed out the night, you had a discussion topic you wanted to talk about.
I did.
So I'll let you introduce it.
This comes from me staying off of TFW for a while, because sometimes you just have to distance yourself from them. Lots of good information out there, but sometimes they can kind of get caught up in their own, can't see the forest through the trees kind of. But I jumped on there today about at work and looked in the Masterpiece Hound. I subscribed to the Masterpiece Hound thread, so I was reading through it thinking I was just curious what people's opinions were. I had already formed mine, so I wanted to see what other people were saying. And I remember thinking, with all the problems with MP44 quality control wise, it was nice that Hound was such a smash hit and didn't have any problems. Well, read through like 6, 7, 8 pages of Hounds that were just fucking shattering, breaking, joints crumbling, cracking. Apparently it's not good. And while when you're on TFW, like I said, sometimes you have to go through whether or not there really is a problem with the figure, or if it is one or two people being very vocal and like, here's my problem. And then everybody says there's a problem because person A has a problem, but no one else really had the problem. It's just everybody's talking about the one. Well, the Hound thread is full of different folks posting different pictures of different cracks and shattering and problems that the figure's having. So much so that they were contacting the retailers, and I saw people saying, big, widespread and this and that, and that there was an English distributor, an American distributor, one of the big websites. I can't remember which one, but I remember that I knew it. Had said in a reply email that the person had posted that, yes, we're aware of this. This is a big issue. Hasbro doesn't have a response, if any, yet. So that made me think. I've messed with my Hound probably the most of any Masterpiece figure that I've had in a long time, except maybe Black Arachne and Hound I've spent a lot of time with. So when I got home right before the show, I grabbed my Hound off the shelf, and I thought, I wonder if I'm suffering from any of those problems. So I give it the quick once over, and there's a couple of spots on him that are prone to breakage. So, I'm looking at it, I'm going through it, and I don't see anything. And I'm pretty happy about that. Until I see that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is a crack on the backside. So where this is, if you can tell, the figure's transformed in robot mode. So this is the armature that swings the shoulder cannon around and also has the neck and head attached. That is that's the backside. So if you look, that whole piece doesn't move. It's all static. It's the bottom part that swings. So there's a screw that goes down through the middle. I'm guessing it's overly tight, and the material does not rub well together when you rotate it, so I can see it putting stress. So I spent the first part of our episode tonight applying shock oil to the area, which has made it worlds better. And while we were talking, I also ordered some of that stuff that Zero recommended on Amazon. Had a pretty good price for it. So I'm going to treat it with some sealant. What is it, like some kind of glue, plastic glue. What's it called, Jordan? I ordered it. But
The Tamiya cement?
Yes, the cement.
Yeah.
So I'm going to treat it with that going forward. But it's disappointing.
Well, what are you going to try to paint over it, or
no? I'm just going to seal it and let it be. I'm not going to try to mess with it
just to
too
keep
much.
it from spreading? Or...
Yep, exactly. Because I want to be able to manipulate the figure without worrying about it getting any worse. So that's it. I mean, everything from where I'm looking now, without having transformed him back, I don't see anything. But it calls into question, like, I appreciate this guy's got some amazing engineering to him. He does. The fact that his feet have all of the extra accessories from the vehicle mode is amazing. And that his shoulder cannon stores is amazing. But if they can't pull off this higher articulation with these smaller pieces while maintaining structural integrity, then it's not worth it.
Can you tell if the plastic is transparent and just painted? Because Bumblebee, I think most of his plastic is painted transparent. And Sunstreaker as well, to be honest.
So we know that the windshield on Hound is obviously painted transparent plastic. I don't see any evidence that other piece is. I'm wrong a whole fucking lot, but I don't see where it is. I think it's the regular plastic from the rest of the figure.
Yeah, I don't think it is because I'm looking at mine now, and I'm seeing like areas where there's screw marks or where there's obviously not paint, and I see it's green. So, and it's just also it wouldn't make sense to do that. I do wish they would go back to not painting the entire figure.
Right.
I really wish that they would just, okay, this is green. We're going to cast it in green plastic and apply a finish to it, which is what MMC does. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about
they watch Bobby, and they're like, everything's got to be painted.
They need to stop. That's like basing your business off of what Twitter says. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I agree, but and you and I are kind of differ on paint quality. Where I have a paint imperfection on one of my faces for Hound. I've got some scraping here. I'm seeing now some discoloration here and there. And honestly, if the figure's solid, that doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Like not even a little bit. I know you like your figures to have a certain, percentage of paint errors to kept low. Mine, as long as it's not too overly egregious, I'm not going to make a big deal about it.
I'm going to run to my shelf and give you a prime example of something that looks like it's painted, but it's not.
But at the end of the day, you really should be able to they are trans-fucking formers. You got to be able to transform your figures. And again, I'm not if it was just that I don't think that crack is going to get any worse.
Well,
and I probably wouldn't even notice it if I hadn't read the forum tonight. But it just goes to show, like, MP44 and this guy and Bumblebee to an extent, like why is the plastic all of a sudden? Is it because it's small pieces in engineering? Is it cheaper material? Is it all of the above? I don't know. But I say that to say this, that like the Black Arachnia is one of the thinnest, like frailest feeling, smallest MP figures I've owned. And it's sturdy as hell. Like you have Black Arachnia, T. Do you feel like your Black Arachnia is sturdy?
Yeah, she feels like a Figma.
Minus the spindly legs, because obviously there's only so much you can do with that.
She just feels like a Figma.
But I mean, in me trying to transform her back to spider mode, because I'm half idiot trying to do it, and I didn't have it right. Like I'm crunching it and getting frustrated with it, and the kid gloves come off once you get past a certain anger point. And I eventually got it back right, and I thought, shit, I wonder if I broke this or stressed anything out, and it's perfect. There's amount of flex to the plastic. It's good quality plastic. I just don't know what the difference is. What's the secret here? Why are they doing this to us? And Sportimus asked me about the back of the knees. The back of the knees, that was the first thing I checked on mine, and they are fine for now. But I'm going to keep an eye on it.
So I want to start off. I love the Calidus mold, and this figure is cast in a lot of white plastic. There's my camera. But there's a finish applied to it, and there's paint used in places where it matters, and they use really bright, vibrant plastic. And one thing I noticed about MMC is there was a time where one of my figures took a shelf dive, and I did contact MMC, and I was like, yeah, I had a figure took a shelf dive, and the knee pad is scuffed up. It was on their roller. And I realized that they apply a slight clear coat to their plastics, right? And it gives it a painted look, but it's durable. It's very durable. And, like these figures, their complexity they're night and day, all the little panels and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the way that they're doing these and they're painting the entire piece, I don't know whether they're afraid to use denser plastic because of clearances, but if they took the MMC approach and just said, okay, we're just going to do this in green plastic. We're going to paint accents like they used to do, and we're going to give everything a clear coat to prevent it from scraping. I would have, that would have made a world of difference on MP44. I think that would have made a world of difference on Hound.
Whatever paint they're using isn't good, period. On the figure that I'm borrowing from Peak, the yellow rings on his Yeah, on his bicep, that's starting to come off a little bit.
Yeah. Well, my Spike, I think I showed you like how like they like slopped on the paint on his face. That was the only issue that thank God that's the only issue I have with my Hound is that Spike is not painted very well. And yeah, I can live with that. But I don't think the figure should be head to toe in paint. And like with Beast Wars, it feels like maybe I should go get Black Arachnia off the shelf again. But I feel like they did tampos for the texture details, but I think for the most part, she's not really painted.
So what about
whatever they're using on Beast Wars is black magic. They need to just tempo. I think all of their paint is tempo, so they should just use that for every Transformer. Yeah. Whatever they're using for Beast Wars.
I was gonna say their Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron, like that. Isn't that like crazy? I don't own one, but I've seen it in person, and it seems like that's crazy resistant to scratching. Like it's
him and Cheetor. The second run of Cheetor is fully painted head to toe.
Yeah,
and I don't have any problems.
The first run wasn't painted; it was actually cast in yellow plastic. But the second run looks a lot better, but the tolerance on it, because it's painted head to toe, they're really, really tight.
Yeah, so, that's true.
Yeah, it can be a bit scary. But I just think that they should do clear coats. I think that they should cast in the plastic, try and make it as durable as possible. Because to your point, Matt, they're Transformers, and if they're going to pack this stuff in alt mode, which again, I kind of take issue with them packing in alt mode because it's all compressed, and when you're shipping it, there's room for paint to scuff onto other pieces. My first MP44 was kind of a shit show. The amount of scuffs and imperfections it had. Whereas if they, and again, like I know there are people that are like, well, I like that it comes in alt mode because I like to transform the stuff. It's like, well, if you like to transform it, what's stopping you if it comes in robot mode, putting it in alt mode?
Right. Either way, it works for you.
Yeah.
But you had a good point. Like Sunstreaker's just as complex as Hound is, and at least my Sunstreaker's holding up just fine. That I've noticed, and I've transformed him a bunch of times, and I've gotten the backpack totally wrong and accidentally like put too much stress I feel on it because I fucked it up with the transformation, and it's still fine.
I feel with this plastic on Hound, there's like flex to it, but it's not a comfortable flex. Like there are parts in the feet, like these little cap pieces. Like when I first transformed him, I felt like I had to like flex it over everything to get it all to compress. And I was like, that doesn't feel too good.
Yeah, the joints are all tight on him.
Yeah, they're all tight.
The plastic is holding up, but the paint on his hands is coming off just like Bumblebee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only issue I have with my Hound is like at the base of his neck, other than Spike, the base of his neck, the paint's a little sloppy. And then the ratchets on the thighs are inconsistent. Like this leg, that you can feel the ratchet, but you can't hear it. This leg, you can hear the ratchet, and it's definitely stronger.
What about the paint on the front part of his hip? Is it rubbing as you're lifting that leg up?
No, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, there's nothing with there's no marks whatsoever on it.
Good. It's someone on I'm borrowing.
I mean, he's a great figure, but then you have the price creep too. That's sort of, if these things were still at their $80 price point and had the complexity and maybe some of this stuff was cropping up, it'd be a little bit easier to stomach. But when they US retail for $150 a piece now, I'm with people bitching about the price on these things. Like it kind of puts you off from wanting to buy. You get into where you don't want to pre-order another figure. You want to wait and see.
Well, also too, right? It's like you could get Hound, or you could get somebody that's having a fire sale on Willis. And I think Willis is a great alternative to the official. I actually transformed my Willis for the first time when I got Hound, because I'm not selling third-party figures anymore when an official comes out. They're just my alt modes. And I was like, yeah, this is actually and don't get me wrong, I like this. I really like this. I love this figure. It's not fun to transform though. It's fun to pose. The action figure element's awesome. It looks better as a robot, marginally better. But like Willis was a great figure. I transformed it for the first time, and I was like, damn, this is actually a cool transformation for a fan's toys.
My Willis feels like shit. I
That's what she said.
would want to sell it, but when I can barely get him to stand up. I'd feel like, yeah, this isn't worth all that much money. Then I'll probably undersell it.
Fair. But
Which
I don't know, something to watch out for.
Hmm?
I said something to watch out for with the next releases. Who's the next one up?
the next masterpiece is no, it's not Black Convoy. It's Leo Convoy is the next.
So we'll
And
see.
then, yeah. Then of course the big TBD is Raiden or Raiden, whichever you wanna call it. But for them to do a combiner, how intricate is that combiner going to be? And are you going to have like massive amounts of paint rub just getting it into its combine mode? And then they're going to be trains, so they're going to have to condense into little tubes. So really, I wish they would just not paint this way. Actually, I don't remember that being an issue with the Make Toys. Oh, the toy version Hound. Yes, I had the Toon version one.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah. Though I feel like with third-party figures, if your third-party figure has an issue, it's far easier to get it fixed. I feel though, like if you're buying from Amazon Japan, you're really rolling the dice. If you're buying from like a site like Chosen Prime or BBTS or Agabus, you might fare a little bit better, but you're going to pay a whole heck of a lot more than you would with an overseas retailer. I think we're almost getting to the point where it's like maybe just start waiting on this stuff and make sure that they knock out all the kinks.
Right, that's what I'm saying. No pre-orders will start going down, and people will wait it out to see.
Yeah.
But as I said, something to watch, and it's not. Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't. As long as I can seal that, I'm fine with the figure. I wish it didn't do that, but if that's the most of the concern for this, then so be it.
It's like
time will tell.
Name a masterpiece figure of recent memory that was impossible to get. That's why I say of recent memory. Because the last one I remember was Exhaust. And then they reissued it. Like there was that whole, it looks like Philip Morris logo. It looks like the Marlboro logo. We can't sell it. And then now it's like you can go anywhere and get Exhaust for like cheap.
But that's my bitch session. It is what it is.
Well,
I'm sad that you can't go to Toys R Us and buy them.
This is a really great point.
Yep.
This is a really great point that the critical structure stuff used to be die cast. And I mean, look, for what they're charging here, and die cast is actually really cheap compared to plastic. Everybody's like, oh, plastic costs more because of the petroleum, but we're beyond that now. Also, why, when you're doing stuff with like, okay, thin pieces, why not just use die cast on some of these panels and the hinges? The worst thing to happen with using die cast is you might have issues with tolerance. You could use washers to prevent that, but I really wish that they had used some die cast in the legs here. Now that I think about it,
I have a
Where?
theory. I just
Where?
developed this theory. So they're all made in China, right?
they were.
Where are they now?
Maybe Vietnam.
Yeah.
Vietnam too. So most of our plastic trash gets shipped overseas in containers, and they probably take all of our discarded water bottles and turn them into our Transformers. That's why the plastic's breaking, because it's shitty reused plastic.
How much BPAs are in Hound? Matt, sleep with your figure tonight and let me know what your estrogen levels are.
They're literally selling us back our trash. But Matt, At
It's
the end
been
of the
it's been
day,
4 nights in a row, and
the
I'm
moral
pretty
of the
female.
story is don't go on the internet.
That's true. If none of that had happened, the show would have been over half an hour
Yeah.
ago.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
It's just
I
nothing
wouldn't
good.
even know my Optimus Prime knees were broke if I didn't do reviews.
But
Like I did the
that's
whole
true,
review,
too.
and it was like, I think your knees are broke because I didn't hear the ratchet. I'm like, oh, I noticed it wasn't ratcheting, but I thought it was supposed to be like that.
Right, you
I
didn't
would have
know the
never known
difference.
for all this time.
All right. Well, I think we're getting to time. I think we should wrap this one up. And
Yes.
we did have one more discussion item, but we'll save that for next week. Anyway, let's get some. Where are you at? Starting with Parts Former. Where can folks find you at?
Pretty much type Parts Former in PlayStation Network, Xbox, Instagram, Twitter, and you will find me.
Wait, do you actually have any multiplayer stuff on PlayStation?
Nothing that springs to mind. Titanfall 2, which I haven't played
Titanfall
yet.
2? It's good. It's a good game. All right. You probably already know where to find T-Man at, but just in case you don't, just in case you don't use
Find me
Google.
on YouTube on my channel, playing with toys and talking about them with a voice like this right now. Sometimes I get a little bit more energetic like this, but usually I'm talking like this. And I tell you what sucks about it, and I tell you what's good. And then you buy the stuff because you trust my opinion. Joe.
And-
Let's see. When I'm not sent to my HR department for sensitivity training, you can find me here. And that's it. I actually am seriously considering getting completely off of social media, but it's too damn addicting. I can't do it.
As for me,
Gordon, where can we find you?
when I'm not making an Astrobot twerk and ruining it for Dave, that's been a theme of the week. Look at this thing. It's like thick.
Yeah.
It's like making those cheeks clap.
And that has outstanding plastic.
Yeah, that it does. Anyway, you can find me here with these fine gentlemen every Thursday night at 9 o'clock, provided I don't have something. I shouldn't have anything else going on for the near future. You can also find me on various forms of social media where I try to behave. You can find me in the Facebook groups as James Jordan. You can find me on Twitter as @TheOriginal0. You can find me on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network as Extra Zero. There's a space between Extra and Zero on Xbox, but it's all one word on PlayStation. And then, of course, I'd say the Nintendo Switch, but I'm not going to put out my friend code. But if you want my Nintendo Switch code, just PM me and we'll play some Smash Brothers. But anyway, y'all have been a fine audience. Thank you for joining us tonight. Buy our shirts. If you haven't already, Kielbasa slam that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Oh my. And we'll see you all same figure action time, same figure action place on the YouTube channel next week. Have a good one.
Like, we know you didn't push like yet.